I just can't pull off the fully bald like you can. It's just not.
Oh, I'm not fully bald. I'm getting there though.
Well, no, I mean, like we're around the same, like same,
Yeah,
whatever you call the halo in the.
yeah. The halo.
I love my investment in my Remington Baldinator. It's a good piece of equipment. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Player Profiler today on Friday with Biggs and Chev. We are here. We're talking
Hello.
playoff football. We're getting down to it, folks. There's 2 games left. It's Championship Sunday this Sunday. Sunday.
Last
And
night, tonight.
well, no, yeah, that was Thursday, Friday. There are only 2 games left in the playoff season before the Super Bowl, or as the NFL wants us to call it, the Superb Owl, because it's a trademarked concept and whatever.
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, they don't want people using Super Bowl, so it's the Superb Owl.
Boy,
We got a viewer.
they
There's
can
one.
suck. They can suck the fun out of a wet fart on in an elevator, man.
Oh, um, that's implying that there is inherent fun in a wet fart on an elevator, and I would challenge that notion.
Hey,
Uh,
results may vary, but I
interesting.
recommend trying it at least once.
I just broke my brain. Um,
Crowded elevator, if you will.
sure. Uh, One of my sociology classes, we were talking about subverting moral or mores and norms, and my professor said, try this as a thought experiment, an experiment. It's not a thought experiment because you're actually doing it. But next time you go into an elevator and there's going to be a bunch of people in there, just stand at the back facing the back. Because societal expectations are everybody goes in and then turns around and faces the door. And you might not get any comments, you might not get any interaction, but you're sure as hell going to make everybody in that elevator extremely uncomfortable simply because you're just facing the other way. Um, I thought that was pretty cool. The other one was everyone that you see on the street walking down the sidewalk, hold out your hand and say hello.
Uh,
Because people don't do that. And my buddy and I tried that, and we did not get a good response.
I- oh, you're in California though. Like in the like
That was in
potentially.
Washington.
Oh, it's in Washington. Yeah, I mean, but still, are people friendly in Washington?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. But there's a so of course, like going to college in Arkansas, my first day in the grocery store, I was just like, oh my God, people are so nice here. But being out on the street is different. Like walking down the sidewalk, most people have like a, a pursuit, a place to go, and they're not necessarily in a hurry, but they have a direction. And to try and stop them and introduce yourself with a big smile on your face, we even like said our name. My friend started saying, "And I'm running for office." Um, Nothing that we did changed. As soon as we stuck our hand out and smiled and said hello, it was like people would just avert their eyes and kind of walk past, shrink their. It was wild. It was funny.
So,
Uh,
Player Profiler today now has two experiments for you. One, walk into an elevator, face the wall, and then let out a wet fart.
yeah.
And then number two is just walk up and down a sidewalk saying hello to people and see what that gets you.
Well, I think it's the hold out your hand.
Hold out your hand and
Hello.
say hello.
I think that's what got people, because saying hello, people wave back things. It's the holding out your hand part uh, that really got them. All right, let's get to the breaking news of the day. Stuff that I got to report on. I'll tell you what happened this morning. I woke up and it was 8ish. For me, that's early, but for most of you guys it was like 10, 11 in the morning. But for me it was early, and I was still, that sleep where that you've gotten enough, but you just feel like you could fall back asleep if you wanted to. And as I do whenever I wake up, I grabbed my phone, I looked at my phone, and there's Bradley Stalter going, "Hey Biggs, Raiders hired Pete Carroll." And I went, oh, I picked my phone back up and rolled over and did my best for like 20 minutes to go back to sleep. I just did not want to deal with it. Yeah, so I have thoughts. I have thoughts on the Pete Carroll hiring.
Love that. Love it.
Yeah.
Love that. Chewing gum on the sideline.
But I got up and I wrote my stuff. And then immediately after I finished my Pete Carroll stuff on Twitter, it was Russell Wilson to the Raiders. And I was like, I got to address that too. So, yeah, I had a great morning. Your hopes and dreams die when you wake up. So, I can't wait for the day where I wake up and my hopes and dreams blossom and bloom. And yeah. Anyway, so that's the lead story. Pete Carroll and the Raiders have agreed to a 3-year contract with a 4th-year team option. I feel like that's going to be dependent on a physical.
Is this going to be your 4th coach that you guys have that are you're currently contractually paying?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
And if something happens and Carroll gets, dismissed in the next 3 years, there will be 5 when we hire another one.
Just going into the coaching IR. Yeah.
Depending on how those sliding contracts are working for the other guys. Maybe Gruden's will slide off at some point, and then maybe
it's 10 years.
Sure. But we're waiting on court judgments to
adjudication.
Correct. Get rid of that contract.
Sam, you like the big word?
Yeah, adjudication. It's been adjudicated. A judge has decided. So Pete Carroll, 74 years old.
Your new head coach. Face of the franchise. Yeah, let's go.
He'd be the youngest president in the last 8 years. Yep. I said, I think it was in a group chat that we're in, or another group chat, or maybe it was on the Discord. I'd like odds on who's going to die of a heart attack first, Pete Carroll or Liam Cohen. I would set it at plus 4,500 that it's Liam Cohen and minus 99 million that it's Pete Carroll. All right. So kind of what we want to do as a franchise is hire somebody who's going to put a structure in place that's going to create a legacy. You want a Mike Tomlin. You want a Bill Belichick. You want somebody who's going to start a program and be there for 10, 15, 20 years, create that dynasty. Guess what Pete Carroll's not going to do for the Raiders? Be there.
He's not going to air it out. I can tell you that much.
No, that's the play, is control the ball with the run game and throw deep, which makes Russell Wilson the perfect candidate because he's one of the most efficient passers in the NFL with the deep ball. You draft Ted McMillan for those contested catches. You draft a few running backs out of this class. You rotate, whatever, control the line of scrimmage, and there's your recipe for success. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Arthur Smith rode that to the playoffs with one pass catcher.
But if you manage to, if you do that, then you would also be looking at you would also be negating, by bringing Russell Wilson in, you would be negating his the best weapon that you have on your team in Brock Bowers, because Russ can't throw over the middle of the field.
Right, but Brock Bowers does excel at boundary catches on crossers and out-breaking routes. Just saying, hey, Brock, run as fast as you can, as far as you can. I'll look for you. I mean, no, I get what you're saying. Geno Smith is not the answer either. I would love a Sam Darnold. That would be great. I would love a Sam Howell even. Everybody is trying to say, I like me some Sam Howell. If he has,
I know we talked about this before, and I was trying to get you to not continue down that path.
No, that's not going to happen. Is the Raiders facilities wheelchair accessible? Yes, as standard for the American Disabilities Act. every place that is public, or every place has to be wheelchair accessible.
As I understand it, they've also put life alerts. They've also put life alerts in every corner of the facility now.
Yeah.
And
You know what's
he'll
not
have a
gonna
watch.
you know what's gonna not age as well as Pete Carroll's contract? The septuagenarian jokes. I'm not an ageist. I said this on my Raiders show earlier today when I did my instant reaction. I don't have a problem with Pete Carroll as a person, which is wild coming from a former USC coach, because they are all degenerate, evil people, except for Pete Carroll. I like Pete Carroll. I don't have a problem with him as a football mind. I don't have a problem with him being able to build a competent NFL team. The man has a Super Bowl ring. That is for a reason. We also brought over Jesus. John John Spytek. It's a hard name. John Spytek. He's got a Super Bowl ring, a team that he built. So we have the architect of a Super Bowl franchise, and we have the leader of a Super Bowl franchise in-house. That's all well and good, but you better get it done in 3 years, because you don't have 4. And most teams, it's a 5-year build, whatever. And then you need to put in place the pieces that are going to take over when you inevitably pass on or retire, which is going to happen. So
wasn't Pete Carroll? What was he doing?
What do you mean, what was he doing?
I mean, like, what was he doing in his time off? Like, I thought he retired.
I don't know, but he and Saban are good friends.
I can believe that.
Saban, new OC.
Nicholas St. Nick Saban.
Yeah. So currently the Raiders situation is thus: we have John Spytek, Tom Brady's former Michigan teammate and architect of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl ring, at general manager. Pete Carroll is now the head coach. Things are happening with Patrick Graham. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they retain him or not. He was absolutely hornswoggled by the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was terrible. You remember last night when we were talking in our little session, and somebody mentioned there was a plane flight that left from Las Vegas to Jacksonville last night, saying that that was going to be John Spytek going, "Sorry, Raiders," and landing in Jacksonville with Liam Cohen. That didn't happen. He signed the contract, and that flight, that was Patrick Graham. After the Jaguars knew they were signing Liam Cohen, they still made him fly across the country and sit down with them when they knew he was not going to be the answer, and they had the Rooney Rule already taken care of. So as a minority coaching candidate, it was not necessary to interview him. All they had to do was tell him, cancel the flight.
Yeah, but they didn't.
They did not do that. Now,
Las Vegas to Jacksonville, that's what, 4.5 hour flight?
It's across the country, almost literally, like the one I'm going to be taking on Sunday from San Diego to Charlotte, North Carolina. So, offensive coordinator is still up in the air. It remains to be seen if maybe Pete Carroll wants to bring in Ryan Grubb. Does Todd Monken want to stay in Baltimore, or does he want to go as OC in Las Vegas and then take over that franchise in 3 years' time when Pete Carroll steps away? Jesus, Jamie. Pete Carroll is a shuffleboard champion, dominating pinochle tournaments.
He is honestly. I had heard the rumors that Pete Carroll was in the Bingo Hall of Fame, and now you guys get a world champion bingo player along with being a Super Bowl champion. This guy, all he does is win. Isn't that right, Jamie?
At bridge. So as it stands in the AFC, you have 4 coaches, 3 of whom have Super Bowl rings, and somehow one of those is a Raiders head coach. Jim Harbaugh is the only one that does not have a ring on his finger from winning a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and now Pete Carroll. But
he's got a bunch of NFC Championship game appearances.
Yeah. Yeah. He also has a history of having Colin Kaepernick as a quarterback in the NFL that started games. And Greinberg, I'm not going to acknowledge that. I don't even care. Another story, we have the Jets. They have hired Aaron
Aaron
Glenn away
Glenn,
from
let's
the Detroit
go.
Lions. And there are rumors that Mark Brunell is going to take over there as the offensive coordinator. I was hoping for Ben Johnson in Vegas with Mark Brunell. Okay, let's get on to the show. That's enough. That's enough news for now. All right. What do we got going on? Oh my goodness. It's playoff football. Look at that.
Yeah, look at it. Behold,
Behold.
you got the second best running back on the Philadelphia Eagles, along with a collection of also ran receivers.
Excuse me? The Olamide Zacchaeus shade will not stand.
The Olamide Zacchaeus slander is not slander if it is in fact factually correct by the facts.
Your mom is factually correct.
Your mom is factually correct. Brendan?
All right. We got the Eagles. They are favorites by 6. We got a money line for the Eagles at minus 300. We got the Commanders at plus 240. We got the over-under at 47.5. For the injury report, we have Samuel Cosme for the Commanders out. That is terrible. That's
yeah. We need to spend a little time here because, oh
my God. Jeff Driscoll is questionable with an illness.
Well, yeah, Jeff Driscoll could fill in for Samuel Cosme probably better than whoever they're going to have fill in for him. And it would be a similar result. This is really, really bad news for the Commanders. And Jalen Carter
cannot outrun Jaden Daniels.
It doesn't matter. If you can get pressure up the middle, if you can get pressure up the middle on any quarterback, like instant pressure, it changes the math of what you can do in a passing game. And if Vic Fangio can too high shell his way on one side of the field, this is just that makes me nervous. But
it makes me very nervous too. However, with the line being what it is, with the spread being Eagles favored by 6, and with a plus 240 money line for the Commanders, and over under of 47.5, I'm parlaying the Commanders with the points, the Commanders money line, and the under.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you said.
This is not financial advice. This is Biggs losing money.
I don't disagree with anything you said, man. I find myself, I mean, honestly, both games came down to the fourth quarter and Saquon being just a singularity of a talent. And I think that honestly, if it comes down to the fourth quarter, if Jalen Hurts is limited by the knee injury that he suffered, then we're looking at an opportunity for Jaden Daniels to make the Super Bowl as a rookie. Like a strong opportunity. And I know I just said that Samuel Cosplay, whatever his name is, the guard for the Commanders being out is a big deal. But if you're good. I mean, he agrees with me.
Well, he was just trying to jump in there and say that how happy I would be to have Jaden Daniels at the Super Bowl.
I too would be happy to have Jaden Daniels at the Super Bowl. You know who wouldn't be happy about having Jaden Daniels at the Super Bowl?
Trav from Undroppables, Eagles fan. Pat Finnerty from Why Does This Song Stink? Eagles fan. We
can just lump all the Eagles fans into the waste receptacle that they belong in, and we could say that Jaden Daniels' mom would probably be the most upset because she would be single-handedly having to ward off all of the women that have him on their wall.
I et cetera them as well.
Also as well.
The script says Eagles win. February 9th is Barkley's birthday, same day as Super Bowl, so he'll be playing. Andy Reid will win his three-peat versus his old team. I can't argue with that. I'm going to bet against it, but I can't argue with it. We have a fantasy question on an NFL news show. Wow. Thanks, Sugar Dunkerton. Thank you for watching. FYI, watching 2 times from the start if you answer. I'm about to answer. Is taking running back 2 with the 103 too early? No. Have Jane Daniels, Herbert, Geno, and a few backups in a rebuilder. Have the 105 and 107 too. Need wide receivers to add to BTJ, Neighbors, and McMillan. You look fine with BTJ, Neighbors, and McMillions. I'm taking an RB2. Omari and Hampton at the 103 is not too early. And taking more running backs at the 105 and 107 is a great idea too. We just did over on the Undroppables and Fantasy Football Plus. We just did our first rookie mock draft of the year. If you want to check that out, go to the Undroppables and look for the Dynasty Pulse. All right, let's finish this injury report for the Eagles. Byron Young is out. LeCar Patron, Duke Marriott, DeGlester, Hardunkachud, Xmas Jackson, Flaxen, Waxen, and the player formerly known as Mouse Cop are all doubtful. Britton Covey is questionable, and Cam Jurgens is questionable as well.
What about Torque Construction Noise Lewis?
I don't think he's on the roster. Maybe he's still on the practice squad.
Okay. He's back with the Birmingham Stallions on a futures contract. Got it.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that I got that on. I'm really pissed that I rushed it through. I felt like I rushed it. Anyway, so we're back to I think that Washington has a legitimate chance to win, and I hate the Eagles by 6.
There's no chance I'm taking the Eagles by 6.
Yeah,
it's Washington's point. It's Washington in the points
as well in props bets. I'm boosting Jaden Daniels rushing. If his pocket is collapsing, he's running with the ball more. He's also looking downfield more. So we're talking Terry McLaurin in scramble mode. Olamide Zaccheaus, who has shown himself to be quite the weapon. De'Ami Brown is less of an emergency guy and more of a schemed guy. I think that they are in pretty good shape. If their defense can play even half as well as they did against Detroit, I think this is a Commanders victory, even though it's in Philly. And do we have a weather report?
I did not see a weather report thus far. Allow myself to familiarize myself with the weather in Philadelphia for this matchup, if you will.
Sure.
Philadelphia.
Take your time.
Pennsylvania.
Don't worry about the viewers.
Gonna keep talking and
they don't mind dead air.
Using words. This isn't dead air. This is quality content right now. So
should we run a commercial while you get ready?
I mean, I'm ready.
Oh,
so okay. Honestly, there's a 5% chance. There's a 5% chance of rain. A high of 43, low of 23.
Okay, so no snow, which is good, and 5% chance of rain doesn't mean that there's a 5% chance of rain. It just means that out of 100 days with this type of weather, it has rained on 5 of them. All right.
Yeah. Winds at 8 miles per hour. So no wind factor also as well.
Beautiful,
this has been
beautiful
your weather report.
NFC Championship weather.
Yeah.
Thank you for that breaking weather news, Chev.
Yes, my name is Chev Tamland, weather guy.
I love Lamp.
I love Jamie. I just gave the weather report. Don't you hop in here with your nonsense.
We got amateur meteorologists in the chat when we've got the professional on board right now.
You don't even have a teleprompter, Jamie.
Or a green screen.
Know? What do you know?
All All right, I'm hearing some sounds from the other room, so I'm going to hit this commercial, and I will be back very soon, and see if I can go put out this fire.
Oh, I see all this mock draft information out there. Oh, this mock, that mock. Hey, what about a real actual fantasy game? The Flex 4 game on Fast Draft, draftfaster.com, is open. You draft 6 running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. The top 4 enter your lineup every week. It's that easy. It's that simple. Drafts take 5 minutes. There's a $50,000 prize pool. It's $15,000 to first. It's just a $5 entry. And the best part, no rake. No rake whatsoever on Fast Draft. The first 2025 Best Ball contest to open in the world is ready for you to draft up to 150 teams. Draftfaster.com, draftfaster.com. Start playing Best Ball for real.
Who eats a plastic bucket?
Is it full of the Krabby Patties from SpongeBob?
Not even. It's just an empty plastic bucket for plants.
Okay.
All right. So,
borderline deviant, bud. That's not good.
I have 2 lineups in the Super Slam for this weekend.
Super Slam.
The first one,
Fast Draft.
The first one is chalk. But I did a little deviant one where I was trying to kind of hedge. That wasn't what I was looking for. Trying to go for a lineup that nobody else is going to share and looking for some touchdown upside. So he just needs to lay down. All right. So in my 2 spot, I got AJ Brown. At 1.75, I've got Jahan Dotson. Ray Davis at the 1.5.
Okay.
Marquise Hollywood Brown at the 1.25. Terry McLaurin at the 1, and Brian Robinson at the other 1. So I'm going for a little bit of deviation. If those guys catch touchdowns, maybe have 30, 40-yard touchdown, I could take this whole thing. What is he doing?
So, Jamie, to answer your question, it's the 2:00 game. It's the 2:00 game on Sunday, bud.
Yeah, we're doing these in order of when they are airing.
Yeah. So the Chiefs and Bills obviously would be the bigger draw. So they're playing at 5:30.
And I apologize for my dog distracting me. Not you guys. It's not distracting you guys.
Listen, you don't have to apologize. Your dog is a legendary ball knower. He was agreeing with me when I was making some very salient points earlier.
It's true. Also, he only bites evil people.
That's fair. That's good. Hey, it's a good policy. I bite evil people too.
You know what, Sugar Dunkerton, and that would have been a great name for the East-West All-Star Game.
Sugar Dunkerton, Incarnate Word University.
There you go. Thank you for watching. All right, let's get back to the thing. Oh, what is this? Where's Lamar? He's not on there. Well, son of a bee. And no CJ either? That's right, because it's the Bills and the Chiefs in a rematch of every other year. And guess what, script writers? You're not giving it to the Chiefs again. They're probably giving it to the Chiefs again.
Joke's on you, because the script writers are the refs, and the refs are the script writers. And they all play for the Chiefs, big guy.
The chefs and refs. There's a reason that they are called that. All right. What happened to my thing? There, I guess that's right. Okay. So we got the Chiefs favored by 1.5 points, a similar over under at 47.5. This is a lacking website that I picked, and it doesn't have any of the other lines or anything.
Hold on, I got you, bud.
Let's get some Chev lines and also a weather report.
Chev lines and a weather report. Well, the weather is going to be just like it is here in sunny Bentonville, Arkansas.
Does that mean sunny?
Very little. Well, yeah, it's actually going to be sunny. Usually, I mean, we're only 3 hours. I'm only 3 hours away from Kansas City, so we get the same. We're in the same on the same plane. So it's usually very similar. So weather not going to be a factor going into this weekend. I also am sending you the implied point totals.
Oh,
Bear
you don't
with me.
want to give them to us?
Sure, I could absolutely do that. I could do that. Yeah. No big deal. Hey, it's totally cool. It's totally cool.
Well, let's get to the injuries first. So this is a 6:30 game Eastern time. It's going to be 3:30 here, and I believe that would make it 5:30 in the Central Time Zone. It'll be broadcast on CBS, Paramount Plus, if you cut the cord, and NFL Plus if you are flush.
Paramount Plus.
If you're flush like Chev. But I believe that's not. The NFL Plus can't be watched live. You have to wait till the end of the game and then watch it. If that's the case, then I would just go to a bar. For the Bills, Taylor Rapp is out. Balin Spector and Christian Benford are questionable, so they're relatively healthy. And there are 0 injury indicators for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Making it to the end of January with a mostly healthy roster outside of your number one wide receiver is quite the accomplishment. So good for you, Chiefs. More good fortune for you, I guess. That's really cool. Love that.
Also,
So,
I've been watching the last 3. My favorite show, and I'll let this be known. My favorite show on television is the Antiques Roadshow. And if you've never seen it, get involved. It's a PBS show where they travel around the country and people bring their crap from the closet and they go, oh, well, this is this piece from France in 1874. It's worth $35,000. And the people go, really? And they start crying. And the last 3 episodes were filmed at Crystal Bridges
in Bensonville, Arkansas. Not Bensonville.
Bentonville, Arkansas, founded by one of the Walton daughters who have had billions of dollars and nothing to do with it. So she bought a bunch of art and then had some famous architect construct this beautiful facility. Yeah. And now she
lived here
stuff.
Yeah, lived here for 6 years, never been there. My wife's been once. Not a big art guy.
I mean, just go. And then maybe you will become a big art guy. I'm not an art guy. I love closet finds, but I would go to this place just for the art.
Yeah, results may vary. I don't like. Maybe if my wife was like, "Yeah, you know what we should do? We should just go walk around Crystal Bridges." I would maybe.
That's the comment of the year, Jamie.
That is fantastic. I apologize to all of our other listeners, but that I saw that and it just completely interrupted my train of thought.
That is the comment of the year, Jamie. That my head hurts from the ball bouncing off it after you dunked on me so damn hard. Well played. Yeah. Well struck, my friend. What if you turned the tables and said to your wife, hey, I got an idea for date day Saturday. Let's go to Crystal Bridges.
She would probably be like, what, who are you? Why are you?
Or what did you do?
Yeah. what are you? Yeah. Not a big art household.
Okay. Fair. Yeah. But it just looks like such a cool place. The architecture.
No, I mean, now granted, yeah, it's really cool. It's really well designed. Yeah. They do some really cool stuff for like outside of it for Christmas time. Like they do some really cool design and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, let's go look at pictures.
That's fair. Shout out Antiques Roadshow. All right.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Okay. So where were we at before Jamie just dunked on me at the buzzer, which is not a thing that happens very often.
I'm going to do my best Pete Carroll impression and probably forget where I am. Hold on. So, Chiefs, implied point total of 25, favored by 1.5, with an over-under that has moved to 48.5.
Okay.
Is this it? Is this finally the year that Josh Allen does it?
Yes.
This is the year. This is the one.
This is the year.
This is the one.
The
Here's
Chiefs,
the thing. We haven't had to see a full Mahomes yet, and I am fearful that he has been like saving up, much like now. What as much as I don't like art, you know what I do like? Dragon Ball Z. So you're about to get a Dragon Ball Z analogy. Patrick Mahomes has just been saving up all of his Super Saiyan energy for this matchup. Like, and most of like he's evolved so much as a player that he doesn't have to make the hero throws anymore. But we've also seen him make every single play, every single time that they have to have a play. I want this thing to be over. As someone who lives near Chiefs fans, can confirm not a fun experience. I want this to be over more almost than I want to take my next breath. However, there's some serious Mahomes voodoo going on. And it just happens. Weird things, bad things, the chefs and refs, they're cooking the books. And I don't know if Josh Allen and all of his good nature and goodwill can overcome an actual black sacrifice. Yeah. See? He's with me again. Let's go.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I need my Thunder buddy to ride with me on this one. I need you.
Let me ask you a question. The fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have not scored 30 or more points this season in 17 games, okay? Is that a result of the Chiefs' state of their offense, or the fact that their defense is that good and they just have done enough, exactly what they need to do?
Well, I scored 29 a few times.
Obviously, that 30-point total is arbitrary. But what I'm saying is you have teams all over the NFL that were terrible that scored 30 points. The Chiefs
actually scored 30 points once, bud. Twice.
What? When was that?
Yeah. Week 12 against the Panthers and week 9 or 10 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Then where did they haven't scored? Maybe it's over 30 points then.
Yeah.
Over 30 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless, there are plenty of teams that were terrible that scored over 30 points, and the Chiefs played plenty of terrible defenses without putting over 30 points on them. Is that playing to the level of their opponent, or is that just an inability to be able to do that?
It's a quad-fold problem. One, they're at a point now where they're conservation of energy. What do I have to do to win this game? And how do I need to go about that this year? Oh,
okay.
Let's notice the Chiefs are allowing an average of 69 nice yards to tight ends this year.
And to counterbalance that, 2 of those games were to Brock Bowers, and then 2 of those games were also to the Chargers, and then 2 more of those were to the Broncos. So there's no tight end production from the Broncos or the Chargers. Brock Bowers and everybody else are what made that number.
Yep, Cade Otton, the Ottenheimer.
Okay, so
I'm with you. I'm with you.
The next question becomes this: does Steve Spagnuolo shut down Josh Allen when the Ravens couldn't do it?
Well, I mean, Josh Allen had 153 total yards and two rushing touchdowns. No, there's nothing you can do to stop him from running the ball. What you have to do is limit the amount of time that he has the ball and limit the effect that he can have on the game with his arm.
So how many times have the Chiefs given up more than 250? Let's move that. Let's say how many times have they given up more than 275 yards passing? Because I know they gave up 350 to Aiden O'Connell.
They gave up 300 something to Bryce, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe like it was 278, and then the rushing combined to go over for 300. They gave up 300. No, they gave up 200 something to Baker. quite a bit. I'll say that.
So good
but it's
weather.
different. It is different that was all without Jalen Watson. They're one of their second best corner in the lineup. They were having to play Chamari Connor and some other dude, number 27, and Najee Williams. They were dealing with a bunch of injuries on defense at one point. So as we said, they're fully healthy now.
Okay, so the next question is, last week, the Buffalo Bills absolutely shut down the Baltimore Ravens.
In the first half.
What are they going to do to Patrick Mahomes?
They're going to – that's why I let off with my Super Saiyan narrative for Patrick Mahomes. Like, we haven't seen him have to overcome a Herculean effort from a defense. I mean, he's just – Patrick Mahomes is a singularity at the position, and he's even capable of doing things like, beating legendary defenses. Refer to the Philadelphia sack exchange of the 2022 Super Bowl. 38 dropbacks, no quarterback hits. And the problem with this is, like I said, it's very, very, very difficult for me to predict an end to something that just we haven't seen an inkling or an iota hint that it's going to end. But they did this exact same thing and then just figured out ways to win. So unless the Chiefs are going to turn the ball over a bunch, I am going to have to go with the Chiefs.
So there is no the Bills are due in that Chev briefcase of yours.
There's no Bills are due in the Chev briefcase. Not with the Chiefs. Not with the Magic. There's some dark forces. There might be a whole just hodgepodge of people sacrificing neighborhood animals underneath Geehaw Field or whatever it's called for the Chiefs to manage to do what they've done this season. I mean, they've got like 8 last second one possession wins, and they're 8-0 in one possession games. And I think that's more of a Patrick Mahomes stat most of the time. But I mean, we've seen just the dumb luck that they're able to win with. Isaiah Likely, if he wears a 12.5 instead of a 13, they 0-1. The Broncos outplayed them and get a field goal block where like a guard just literally just disintegrates at the snap of the ball. I mean, a random pass interference call against the Bengals, a non-call against the Falcons. Like, we've watched this over and over and over and over again. And I just, like, they're a good team with an all-time great quarterback and the all-time leading receiver in postseason history in almost every receiving category. And they've got a great defensive coordinator. And I don't think that there's some sort of chasm of talent that would allow the Bills to do anything other than play an absolutely perfect, not a no-hitter. They've got to go perfect on the road to win this game, in my opinion.
Okay, so last question, and it regards the defensive scheme. Can you scheme up Josh Allen, or does he have enough off-script playmaking ability that it doesn't matter what the Chiefs are going to do, Allen is going to be successful?
We haven't seen. I mean, we saw this movie last year in the playoffs. Like, they were able to get the stops that they needed, and then the Bills had a chance to take the lead, and Tyler Bass blew it. Your boy, Tyler Bass. Your boy.
My boy.
Your boy. Yeah. You texted me about him earlier this season, so now he's your boy forever.
That's fair. I'll own my stuff.
Remember
All right,
that scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin where they're in Smart Tech? He said, "This your boy? He with you? He's with you?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's you and Tyler Bass now.
You better keep her on a leash.
Yeah, you keep your garden tools on a leash.
All right, so we're looking at the tile here. We got Khalil Shakir and we got Travis Kelce. Who scores more fantasy points this weekend?
Oh, brother. Oh man. I'm gonna on my fantasy show earlier this week, we were lamenting how not great betting had gone because we had moved away from unders, and my stand-in co-host said that he was going to take the under on Travis Kelce receiving yards at 70.5. 70.5 for a tight end is just insane. So I'm gonna go with the slot machine. I'm gonna go with Khalil Shakir.
Okay, that's fair, and I'm going to go with anytime touchdowns on both of them.
I love that.
I'm going to go with the over in this game because I feel like if the Chiefs want to win this game, they have to score more than 30 points. I think this is a bigger test than they've had. These two teams played earlier, didn't they?
Yes, the Bills won.
And the Bills won.
The Bills. Have you seen this thing floating around? The tweet floating around?
No.
So Josh Allen in the regular season is 3-1 against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and in the playoffs he is 1-3 with 9 total touchdowns and 1 turnover.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the Chiefs just effing with them. Just like, hey, let
him win this one. Let him win this one.
Give you one to get in your head. It's like when you play with your kid, when you're playing chess with your kid, and you're like, "Oh, you got me, checkmate." You knock your king over, even though he's like 4 moves away. And then the next time you come back and beat him in 6 moves, and he's like, "What was that, Dad?" You're like, "That's how you play chess, buddy. Get better." Nobody should be letting their kids win.
Never, ever. You don't build character that way.
You know how you raise your kids? When they're toddlers, when they're 2.5, 3 years old, you buy one of those Little Tikes basketball hoops and you get on your knees and you swat every shot they try and make until they cry. That's how you build a champion. All right. So the last time these two teams met, Mahomes went for 196, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Allen, 262, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kareem Hunt had 60 yards rushing. Josh Allen led the Bills in rushing with 55 yards and a touchdown. Worthy with 61 yards, 1 touchdown on 4 receptions, and Khalil Shakir 8 catches for 70 yards. Kansas City only scored 21 points. I feel like they're going to have to. I feel like the Bills can reach that 30 mark again, even with the Chiefs trying, even with the refs against them. And the Chiefs are going to have to overcome that 30-point threshold.
Here's the thing. So the Bills I would like to see what the splits are with Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard in the lineup as their EPA per rush with those two in the lineup versus without. But I found the tweet from James Palmer, and he may have been recycling it for somebody else, but this is who I found it from, so that's who we're going to go with. Regular season, 4-1 record, 26 points per game, 296 offensive yards per game, 13 total touchdowns, 4 turnovers. Playoffs, 0-3, 28 points a game, 342 offensive yards per game, 9 touchdowns, 1 turnover. Yeah. Like I said, I think obviously for all of these guys in the AFC, Burrow got it done. You got to slay the dragon if you want to be, promoted into that all-time. Because I mean, honestly, we've moved from the Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Peyton Manning era, and this is the next crop of quarterbacks. And Mahomes is doing his best Brady impression right now. So these guys have to find a way to overcome this if they want to etch their names into immortality as quarterbacks have to. Like, you got to slay the dragon. You got to. For Brett Favre, he had to beat the Niners.
Sure. And this happens in basketball all the time. Mike had to beat Detroit. Larry had to take on the Lakers. The Lakers had to beat Philly or whoever. Like the Kings have to overcome the Warriors. Doesn't matter if it's in the West Championship or whatever, but at some point they have to win a playoff series against the Warriors. Those things happen in sports. And this is another one of those examples. I'm going to take a page from our boy Coach Retzloff, and I'm going to quote The Wire. If you're going to come after the king, you best not miss.
Bars
or something.
Bars.
Omar coming.
Omar coming. Omar coming. That's Patrick Mahomes. Whenever. When he walks into a room with all the other AFC quarterbacks besides Joe Burrow.
Who do you think was colder, Omar or Snoop?
Snoop was more cold-blooded. Like Omar understood what he was. Like
right.
Omar
he had heart, but the game was the game.
Yeah. Omar was a cold-blooded, like Omar's a killer whale. He's doing what he has to do. A shark is just, that's what they do. That's what Snoop is.
Yeah, that scene where Snoop goes into the Home Depot or whatever and buys that nail gun.
Yeah.
It's just like shivers. I love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the history of art. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. I'm in this game. I'm riding the Bills too. You know what? If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down with guns blazing. I'm betting the Bills because it's a 1.5 point spread and they're getting points. I'm betting the over because I think the Chiefs have to overcome that 30-point threshold. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to turn this into a shootout. Now, again, this is not financial advice. This is Biggs being a dummy, and I'm not a good bettor. But that's because I take chances like this. I bet with my heart. I bet with my hope, not necessarily with my analyses. And so both games taking the overs and taking the underdogs too. I mean, I just don't want to, when I'm down there for the Super Bowl, I don't want to be interviewing Chiefs or Eagles, except for Saquon.
If you do happen to interview the Chiefs, go see Cameron Jones. That is one of my dearest friends' younger brother. I told him at 11 years old that he was going to play in the NFL, and he is now playing in the NFL. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cameron, over here. Chev said, "Told you so."
Yeah. Tell him Chemical X. Say, hey, Chemical X. And then say, hey, JC told you so.
You're going to have to text that to me and I'll do it. All right. Now, thank you for watching, Jamie. When next we speak, I will be in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. I don't think anything's going on Friday, so I will be doing a lot of Player Profiler news work and we'll be in the same time zone. So this will be 6 o'clock show for me, and I won't have to go to work afterwards. So we can talk for like 2, 3, 4, 7, 12 hours.
Hey, listen, here's the cool part is we're going to have a shit ton of stuff to talk about because you're going to be live boots on the ground. I'm going to have questions because I watch Senior Bowl one-on-ones in practice like Zapruder film, bud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super excited for this.
Yeah. You want video from Alec A.O. Manor and his route running abilities? I'll have it. You want to see Bashal Tutin exploding through holes? I'm going to have it. So amazing. Yeah, so it'll be a long show next Friday. I will have Senior Bowl updates and we'll preview the Super Bowl matchup between the Washington Commanders and the Buffalo Bills.
The least watched Super Bowl outside of PG County in American history.
I mean, the fact that I've watched every Super Bowl since 1980, I don't care about how many watched they are because I watch every one of them.
That's fair.
All right, you guys, we're going to get out of here. Play fast draft. We need to fill up this conference championship, and make a chalk lineup, and then make one that's like you think he's gonna score a touchdown. But yeah, go do it, and we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.